Hi, I'm making this video to change the whole conversation in Washington. Here's what we hear all the time. We can't default on the debt. Yes, we can. Raise taxes on the wealthy. We can't raise taxes. Cut Medicare and Social Security and screw the poor instead. The real problem is the death of the middle class. The middle class isn't just disappearing, it's dying. But there's a solution. A simple way to fix this problem and increase tax revenues and save Medicare and Social Security without raising the tax rates. And we won't have to spend years retraining workers before we can do this. It's simple. Triple the minimum wage. Raise the minimum wage from about $8 to $25 an hour. Suddenly, low-paying jobs are no longer low-paying jobs. Instead of $16,000 a year, they're $50,000 a year. And you can raise a family on $50,000 a year and pay taxes with $50,000 a year. Fully fund Social Security and Medicare with $50,000 a year incomes. Better than that, if you're making $50,000 a year, you don't have to work that second or third job. So jobs open up for other Americans, and they'll be making $50,000 a year too. So, more money for tax revenues to save Medicare and fund Social Security for everyone for the next 50 years. I can hear the big corporations screaming, "You can't raise the minimum wage that high." Maybe they say that because of the way we value what people do in this country. If you clean hotel rooms, or pick fruits and vegetables and cotton, or cut other people's lawns, or stand on your feet all day in Walmart or Target, or fry burgers at McDonald's, then you shouldn't be well paid. Try standing on your feet all day in a hot kitchen, or restocking the shelves at Kroger's, or cleaning 20 hotel rooms in a day, or break your back picking cotton, or sweating under the hot sun weeding somebody else's garden, and tell me you shouldn't be paid $25 an hour. But even more importantly than the way we value the worth of some kind of work is this fact, which is the first thing you learn when you study economics. For every dollar extra you pay somebody, they spend that dollar, and it expands the economy 3 times. Let's say you get paid $25 an hour instead of $8. You're going to buy groceries and clothes and maybe go to a movie. So let's look at that dollar you spend at the grocery store. Here in Florida, it's at Publix. So that extra dollar you spend at Publix goes to pay an employee, or the company that makes the cereal, or the farmer who grows the tomato. And then they spend that extra new dollar to buy some socks at Costco. And the Costco employee who gets paid that extra new dollar spends it to download music on iTunes. So the economy has just expanded 3 times, which means that employers need to hire more people, and more people go to work, and the middle class expands, and the economy expands, just like it did under Bill Clinton. Remember the 1990s? Great economy, right? When there was a bigger middle class. Now let's consider the screaming from the big companies who say they can't pay Americans a minimum wage of $25 an hour. Well, for one thing, they used to pay good wages until about 10 or 15 years ago. Just because these American companies can ship jobs overseas and pay somebody in Vietnam or Thailand $2 an hour to make your shirt doesn't mean they should. And let's look at why this really won't increase the cost of stuff you buy all that much. Let's look at a Big Mac and fries and a Coke at McDonald's. What's it cost today? $4? Okay, so let's figure out what goes into the cost of that Big Mac meal. The meat, bun, cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, and special sauce, the potatoes and the oil to fry them in, the Coca-Cola, and the clamshell, napkin, and bag cost, what, about 25% of that Big Mac meal? The cost of the mortgage on the store and payments on the tables and kitchen gear cost another 25%. The electricity and other utilities cost another 10%. The advertising and marketing cost about 15%, and the portion that's profit is about 5%, or maybe even a little bit more. So the cost of employing that help is 20% of that Big Mac meal, or under $1. Now, let's say there are 8 employees working at that Big Mac. A manager, 3 in the kitchen, 2 at the counter, 2 on the drive-thru, and while the manager makes more money, the other 7 make the current minimum wage of $8 an hour. That's 8 times 7 employees, or $56 an hour for all the employees every hour. Now, if they're making $25 an hour, that's $25 times 7 employees, or $175 an hour, or an extra cost of $120 an hour. 175 minus 56, that's about $120. Let's say they sell 100 Big Macs an hour. The cost of that Big Mac meal would have to increase by only $1.20 to cover the increased cost of the employees. So your Big Mac meal will now cost $5.25. Well, hey, if you're making $25 an hour, you can afford to pay $5.25 for a Big Mac meal and even buy one for everyone in your family. Hell, I pay $5.25 for a burger, fries, and Coke at the rest stops on the Florida Turnpike. It's time these companies pay the country back for providing the business environment that allows them to flourish, a legal environment that protects them, and a national defense that keeps them safe. It's time we say to the big corporations, you exist to serve the American people. We don't exist to serve you. For too long, we've believed that we exist to serve them, working for low pay. Not anymore. Last year, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations have the same rights as U.S. citizens. Well, they've got the same responsibilities as U.S. citizens do too. And that means doing their patriotic duty to this country. They have the patriotic duty to take a hit on their profits for a year or two if that means helping this country grow strong again. So we can reduce the deficit big time, strengthen our national defense, fund Social Security and Medicare, and pay teachers to educate, and do all the things government needs to do. And after a year or two, because the economy is so strong again, these big companies will be making even bigger profits because we'll have a middle class that's alive and thriving and spending, buying things. This is something that we could be doing tomorrow. It would even reduce the deficit without raising the tax rates by increasing tax revenues. Look, if the Republicans and the Democrats will not vote to authorize this increase in the minimum wage, we should not even wait until the next election to throw them all out of office. We should begin a national recall movement to force them out of office and create a new political party, the American Party, to do what's right for the people of this country, not the companies who've bought and paid for the Congress we have today. Tell your friends to watch this video. Spread the word on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. More importantly, call your congressman and senator. Tell them to watch this video and demand they raise the minimum wage. Let's change the conversation in Washington to do something that benefits us for a change. Thanks for watching.